name's Emmy Stern, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a world approach from a writer's mind. So to give you a little backstory, I'm an only child. I didn't really have siblings to play with growing up, so the way I would play with toys is I'd create like plots and stories and plays, and I would act them out, and it was like just me. I didn't have someone on me or sitting across from me like animating toys with me, so like I had to imagine it all. If I wanted something to move or something to respond, or I had to like imagine it all, so I kind of like wrapped myself in a story and just had to pretend and imagine that things were going on around me even if they weren't. And then it made me really creative and imaginative, and like fast forward to today, I'm still like that. Like my mind is always active, and it's really easy to come up behind me and like startle me because I'm always deep in thought. It's also kind of made me a little bit of an introvert. I'm very comfortable and happy to be alone because, again, my mind's always active. I'm in my own little world all the time. So those are some of the things that have affected me, like even now. And so then moving on from that, I think I have a different perspective of the world. Like, to me, every day is a story. And I see my life as though it's on paper or being filmed. And like every day, my experiences become story material because I still have that active mind, so I channel that into writing now. There's a meme that's actually kind of funny. It's, I'm a writer. Anything you do or say can be used in a story. And that's so true for me. Any little thing I experience in a day, like it becomes material, like that I can use in a story, like a brief exchange with a barista or something like that. Like that becomes a story to me. So like every single day, everything I experience, they're all little stories, and I can like string them together or mix match them or like compile them any way I want, and like start using those in my stories. And then another thing that has kind of stuck with me from having this mindset is my really good intuition. I read people like books. I know immediately if I make someone uncomfortable or if someone's being genuine or if they're being fake. And the way I know that is because I pay so much attention to detail and body language. Like I look at where your eyes are when I'm talking to you, or your posture, or the vocal inflectuations. See if I missed anything. Oh, pauses, like in the way you talk. And so like I look at every little detail because I think that's important in story writing as well. I think in this day and age, a lot of things can get lost in writing, especially over text message or social media. You can't always read sarcasm, or sometimes you read sarcasm when it's not there because you don't have that auditory and visual context to go off of. So for me, I pay so much attention to that because I use it again in my stories. It kind of going off of what I said before, it becomes story material for me. So I can, like one day I'll be like, wow, I really like how he kept eye contact with me that whole time. I might use that in a serious scene that I'm writing in a story. Or, whoa, I really made that person nervous. I'm going to keep that in mind and like use their body language, again, if I'm writing a scene where someone's nervous. One thing I can't stand, it's such a pet peeve, is when you open a book and you read, there's like a paragraph here and then there's dialogue, and you see there's nothing after it. There's like little chunks of dialogue, like, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's going great, blah, blah. And then, you know, it goes right back into like description and stuff. But like, for me, I think the part that comes here, like blah, 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 said as they blah, 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 is so important. It helps bring that context, the auditory and visual context back into the story. Another thing that I noticed is the eye contact that I was just talking about. If you open a book and you read about a scene where there's people talking, if you look at the dialogue, I can almost guarantee you the author probably didn't tell you where their eyes are. And I think that's important because in any given conversation, you don't necessarily end the conversation in the same position, with looking at the same thing you were when you started the conversation. I think I said that right. Because your eyes divert during any conversation. You might get nervous at one part, so you look away, or like things like that. I pay attention to that because I think it's important to incorporate that into my writing. Let's see, and then going on from that, I have an ability to like detach from my story-like experiences, and I know that sounds kind of weird. The way I have it written down is I can turn anything into a story and leave it there, or I can turn a story into my life. And what I mean by that is, again, going off of what I said earlier, I take this material I experience every day and I can channel it into a story, but then I can just leave it there and walk away. One thing I always like to tell people is I never read my work as a writer twice. Meaning I write it, and then if I go back and read it, I am now the reader. And so I have this ability to detach from it, and that's how I'm able to take past experiences, and at the time, I channel everything I'm feeling into what I wrote, but then I don't necessarily read it and feel that stuff again. Like I've written breakup songs, love songs, or like sad emotions, I'll put it into a story or a scene I'm working on, and it's therapeutic for me. I let it go. I don't relive in it every time. Instead, I relive it as a reader, and it doesn't affect me the same way. It's as if, someone was like a dressmaker and they were really angry, and so they're working on a dress to blow off steam, and they create this beautiful dress. When they look at their finished work, they probably don't think, ugh, anger, grr. They probably think, oh, wow, this is my beautiful work that I just did. That's kind of how I am with my writing. So it becomes therapeutic and kind of useful. And then another thing is I can turn a story into my life. So when I wake up in the morning, again, my mind's always active. Like I'll decide, okay, I'm going to be happy today. Today's going to be a good day. And I might write a few sentences in my head about myself, and I start like narrating my life. And I think, okay, I kind of map out my day, and I think, well, first I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then I become that person, and I fulfill the story I'm mapping out in my head. And that's another kind of interesting thing. Lastly, I want to talk about expression. Writing is my form of expression, but it's not. To everyone it's unique, and that really just hit home a few days ago. When I write my boyfriend notes, and I remember him telling me, I can't write my feelings out like you can. And I'm like, what do you mean? You just feel it and write it down. But people can't always do that. For me, feelings become words, but for someone else, feelings might become a song, or feelings become a picture, or something like that. Like everyone is different. And so it really made me learn, or it really helped me appreciate that my form of expression is unique to me, and it's unique to you guys too, like your form of expression. So, and you cannot take it for granted. Like, I feel like sometimes I do. And so, my take-home message is find what it is you're passionate about, or what is your form of expression. How do you channel your creative energy into, and what do you channel your creative energy into? And don't ever let it go. Don't take it for granted. Don't ever stop doing it, because no one else can do it like you can. And it'll be unique to you. And so just like writing is unique to me. And it's kind of how, it's like shaped how I live my life, and how I wake up in the morning, and how I narrate my life and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a world approach from a writer's mind.